Welcome to Kernel at the Buzzer, where we update you on all things sports around the University of Kentucky. My name is Metanchuk.
I'm Brett Ramsey.
And I'm Jack Tobin. In this episode, we'll go over Kentucky's football loss against Texas and its upcoming game against Tennessee, the red-hot Kentucky volleyball team, and Kentucky basketball starting its season with the scrimmage against Purdue.
The opinions expressed on this podcast are the speaker's own and do not uphold the opinion of the Kentucky Kernel.
Kentucky's coming off a big loss to Texas in overtime after they kicked a field goal. What are you guys' thoughts on that so far?
I mean, it's a game they shouldn't have lost. I know before we said we didn't think they had much of a chance, but you saw the stats. They outgained them by over 200 yards. They had the ball for about 20 minutes longer than Texas had. They had 18 more first downs. You look at the stats, I think I saw a stat on Twitter where Texas only had a 15.9 or something super low chance to win that game based on the analytics of the football game. So I just can't believe they ran it twice, the same play at the one. So
yeah, I think the quarterback play was just insane. It was because everybody was saying Arch Manning was just at the start of the season, everybody said Arch Manning was going to have a great year, a Heisman candidate, honestly. And some people were even predicting first-round pick in the NFL draft. But throughout the season, he hasn't been looking great. And in this game, he didn't really do too much. He didn't throw any touchdowns. He only had 132 yards. And Cutter Boley outplayed him, I'd say.
Yeah, it felt very similar to the Mark Stoops game you get every year where the team will be bad for a majority of the season and then pull off a win that they shouldn't. That's kind of how it felt like it was going, but they weren't able to pull it off, and they've now lost 9 straight home games against SEC opponents. It's rough. I feel like Kroger Field provides a really good environment and keeps them in games they couldn't. Like the Texas game, Ole Miss this season, Georgia last season, they didn't pull off any of those wins. It's just kind of rough.
Yeah, it was crazy because you look at the first drive, Cutter Boley slid down I think it was less than a yard. It was a half yard short, so it was 3rd and 1 to start the drive. They got stuffed. I think he got stuffed on a QB sneak on 3rd and 1. And then on 4th and 1, they ran it. I think it was Seth McGowan was short. So on the very first drive ended how the last drive ended for the offense. Same spot. They got to the red zone. In overtime, they got to the 1-yard line. But they fell short twice. When it mattered, Texas stopped the run game. But, I mean, you see it, 395 yards is just to only put up, 13 points?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah. I think a lot of that can be attributed to the coaching and the play calling because when you were in Kroger Field, you could hear just the boos and just everybody going crazy. And, that was the first time in a long time I've seen Kroger Field packed with people hyped. It was loud at Kroger Field. But when they went for it on 4th and 1, didn't get it, ran, I think it was, 2 or 3, runs up the middle and just – came up with nothing. It was deafening with boos and fire Stoops in there. It was crazy.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Jack, they outgained them by a ridiculous amount. And the fact that they only had 13 points on all those yards and lost the game when they had that many more yards than Texas did, you can't put it on the players because it's not. They played their heart out. And they were just failed by coaching and play calling.
Kentucky was looking great on the outside. They got the outside run. Cutter was running it. I was shocked they didn't go into shotgun because under center was not working most of the game. It was when Cutter was in shotgun, making plays. And the way Texas stayed in this game was the punt return. They only had 8 first downs the entire game. And on both their drives that they scored, it was set up by a big punt return. So, Kentucky's kicker, he hit the field goal to get them in overtime, but it was Kentucky's special teams unit and coaching that I think lost them this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Now coming up is obviously still home game against Tennessee. So, back at Kroger Field for this week, what is the preview of that game? Number 7, Tennessee.
I've got some stats here. In 40 games since 1984, how many times do you think Kentucky has beat Tennessee?
I saw the stat.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
It's 3 games.
Yeah.
37. Tennessee is 37-3 against UK since 1984. They're on a 4-game win streak and 8-2 in the last 10. What I will say is that the last 4 matchups between the two in Lexington have finished within 1 touchdown. In 2023, Tennessee won 33-27. 2021, they won 45-42. 2019, they won 17-13. And then in 2017, which was UK's last win in the series, they won 29-26. So they play close when they're in Lexington. But like I said earlier, them playing close hasn't been a good thing for Kentucky. Like, they haven't been able to pull those close games out.
Yeah, the crazy thing to me is Tennessee can move the ball. They struggle a lot on the defensive side of the ball, but Kentucky stays close against the teams that run the ball and don't score a lot because they have a pretty good defense most of these years under Stoops. It's when they can, like Georgia was 13-12. This was 16-13. But if Tennessee scores more than 24 points, I don't know how many Kentucky could put up even on a bad Tennessee defense.
Yeah, and it'll be tough because they lead the SEC in passing yards per game, 6th in D1, and they lead the conference in points per game when they're tied for 2nd in the country this year.
Yeah,
like they're a very good offense, and their defense isn't anything spectacular, but I feel like Kentucky is still far outmatched just because Tennessee's offense is so good.
Yeah, I mean, Joey Aguilar's been having a pretty good year, nearly thrown for 2,000 yards. He's got 15 touchdowns on the year, only with 6 picks. I mean, comparing those stats to Cutter Boley is night and day, but I mean, it looks like 2 completely different teams, and I feel like, I don't know, what are you guys thinking? It's going to be a close game? Or?
I mean, I think they got their chance, and now what's their record? I kind of something
2-4.
Yeah, 2-4. So I mean, they have to almost win out to make a bowl game. They can only afford 2 more losses. I think losing that Texas game was just, you saw the videos in the locker room. They said they were going to bounce back, but it's what everyone says. But the body language on those guys was just, they were all heartbroken because they played a really good game and they fell short. So I think Tennessee comes in and blows them out just because I don't think we have the offense to put up 24 points because I think we'll need at least 24 points to have a shot.
And something else is Kentucky might be bouncing back, but Tennessee is coming off a bad loss to Alabama. Like, they're going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
It's not like they're just going to waltz in here and be mediocre, I don't think. I mean, I think they're going to bounce back better than Kentucky will.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Tennessee, I think, is the ESPN favorite on every remaining game they have left, and if they go 10-2, they're a playoff team because they've only lost to Alabama and Georgia. So if they're going to be favorites against Kentucky at home, I think they're going to be favorites against Oklahoma. They'll be obvious favorites against New Mexico State, and then at Georgia and at Vanderbilt are probably pick-ems. So this team has legitimate college football playoff life. So like we said about Texas, when they only had 2 losses, these teams, I know we're saying Kentucky needs to bounce back, but these guys have the college football playoffs on the line every week in the SEC, so they can't take Kentucky lightly, and it's a rivalry game, so obviously coming in, they're going to give Kentucky their best shot no matter what.
With Kentucky basketball being right on the horizon, scrimmaging Purdue this week, how are you guys feeling coming into the season and for the non-conference schedule?
I'm really confident about this Kentucky basketball team. This is Mark Pope's 2nd year. His first year, I think he did a great job. I mean, I forgot what they ranked in the AP to start the year. I think it was 22, but they were outside the top 20 in KenPom and a lot of advanced stats. So there wasn't a lot of expectations last year, and he still brought that team to a Sweet 16 while battling a lot of injuries. This year, they're ranked 4th in KenPom, 9th in the AP poll. They ranked 9th in adjusted offense, 4th in adjusted defense. I think if they get their guys back from injury, I think they're going to be very, very dangerous by the end of the year.
It's a much different team from last year. There's obviously some returning pieces that were key and will be key again this year. But I think there's a lot of things to be seen. Like, there's a bunch of new guys. How are they going to gel? What's the team going to look like? And I think this exhibition against Purdue will be a great measuring stick to see how they'll be able to gel and how they'll compete against top teams. Because, I mean, Purdue comes in as the #1 team in the nation. So it'll really be a good way to see how they're going to compete.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about the guys returning and stuff. I expect Colin Chandler to have a good year. I expect him to be one of the top performers for the team. What are you guys thinking for the non-conference schedule? Like predictions, because there's a pretty good amount of games that they have that'll be tough and it'll test them. Like, obviously, they got Louisville on the 11th, and Louisville's ranked number 11th. So, and then you got Michigan State in New York for the Champions Classic. That's going to be a huge game. Then UNC and Gonzaga back-to-back on December 2nd and then December 5th. 2 tough games for them. So what are you guys thinking for non-conference schedule?
Yeah, I think the Purdue game, like you said, just is great. Like, the game means nothing it's not a quad 1 game. So if they lose it by 50, it's the same thing as it's just a do not play, and you get to see how you measure up against the number 1 team and where you have to get to. And in the non-conference, I think they'll go 11-2. They play, I think, 5 ranked opponents. Sadly, with Jalen Lowe especially being banged up, we don't know if he's going to be ready for that game, and Jalen Quintance is already expected out. So I think they drop at Louisville. I think Mikel Brown is maybe the best guard in the country as a freshman. I mean, I think that Louisville's team, especially at the guard level, is the deepest in the country, and I really respect them. So I think they drop that game. I think they do beat Michigan State in New York. I think they beat North Carolina at home. They beat Gonzaga in Nashville. But then I think they do fall to St. John's in Atlanta. I just feel like, I mean, it's almost like your dad versus your son with that coaching matchup. Mm-hmm. But I think Patino gets the better of Pope in that game. But I mean, 11-2 heading into SEC. I mean, that sets you up to be able to get a 1 seed in March.
Yeah, especially with the caliber of teams they play. I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think Louisville will be tough with Lowe and Quaintance out. But I think the rest of it really depends on how quickly those 2 get back. Like, if Quaintance and Lowe are back for the St. John's game, I could see anything happening, honestly. And I mean, I think once this team is healthy and if it can keep everybody else through that stretch, I think they'll start to hit their stride in early December, and we'll start to see kind of what they're going to look like or what we can expect them to look like as the season winds down.
Yeah, I mean, they got a tough schedule, and I mean, they play a lot of good teams. I'm thinking 12-1. I think a loss to St. John's is, I mean, kind of there, as we're all saying before. That team is so complete, and so is Louisville. But I think Kentucky can really pull it out. A big rivalry game like that, UK shows up. So I'm thinking we come out strong. But that St. John's game, Patino, I think, has our number. So just like we were all saying before. So what are you guys thinking about Jalen Lowe's injury, and how badly does that affect UK's performance in those games and coming up? And same thing with Jaden Quaintance being out.
I mean, Jalen Lowe's probably, outside of Ortega, the guy you don't want to lose. Mm-hmm. I mean, Denzel, a champion, a defender, and then Jasper Johnson's a freshman who's could be one of the best guards in the country, but he's more of a scoring guard. They don't have now without Lowe, who's gonna get the offense going, get Ortega the ball, organize the offense. I mean, I think getting hurt in obviously a scrimmage, I mean, you have to practice. It's just such a tough loss to start the year because you want to have your roster from start to finish, but obviously injuries happen.
Yeah, I think with Lowe out especially, we can expect to see them kind of work in a system similar to they did last year, where the front court is really leading the offense and it's running through them. But I think it's to be determined what they look like when Lowe gets back, because I do think he will be a very key piece. It's tough to lose a guy like that right before the season starts in a blue-white scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, and that scrimmage, it was good. It was a good view on how the season's going to go, but that was unfortunately the biggest news that came out of it. So it's going to hurt him for this non-conference, and hopefully he can come back soon and stronger.
Another thing that stinks about it is, I mean, last year they lost Lamont, they lost Kerr. They had some injuries to their guards last year, and starting out this way is not ideal. But luckily, it doesn't seem to be too bad of an injury.
Yeah, I mean, they're debating if he's going to even play in the Louisville game, so I bet you he'll be ready by probably mid-November and early December. So, I mean, it just sucks that he can't play to start the year, and then obviously he'll come back rusty. You'll never come back 100%, but it's just a tough way to start the season.
Yeah, I wanna circle back to that Louisville game. If Lowe is back for that, it would be huge. I think it will be very tough to win in the Yum Center. This will be the first time that Kentucky goes back to the Yum Center since Louisville's kind of started to trend in the right direction again. The last few times they were there, it was obvious what was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I think their fans will definitely show up and show out and make it a really tough place to win a game. But, I mean, in these rivalry games, anything can happen.
Yeah, like you said, it's Louisville's back. Like, Kentucky fans have to embrace it. And I don't know when the last time they were underdogs, but I saw the line for that game is the look-ahead line's at 4.5, so they're underdogs in that one.
I think regardless, it'll be an electric game. I mean, that's it. It always is between the two of them when both teams are good. So I think we've got a really good game on our hands there.
Yeah. I mean, last year, coming off a win beating Louisville, that was pretty huge for us, I would say. I mean, it's been a pretty back-and-forth rivalry, and Kentucky schools are back, I would say. I mean, you know, they have such a good team this year, and they've also just got a ton of good recruits. So, I mean, I think it's going to be really back and forth. I don't know if it's going to be any one way kind of leading one side. I think it's just going to be a tough game no matter what. It's going to be a fun game to watch, though.
Something else is with Louisville bringing in Pat Kelsey, same year Mark Pope was brought on, like their rivalry between the two of them is going to be even furthered. I mean, I know there was some talks about off-season recruiting arguments and stuff like that, but I think they've been cordial and friendly, but I think with them being brought in at the same time, it's just going to breed resentment over time, and I think we could start to see things get chippy as early as this year.
Yeah, both got great guys running the program for probably the next 10, 20 years. And probably the best team on campus is the Kentucky volleyball team. They're 14-2 now, 7-0 in the SEC, and on an 11-game winning streak. I mean, they went 2-0 this week, beating Auburn, and then a 5-set thriller against Florida. Brett, you cover the team quite a bit. What do you think?
They're rolling. I mean, they've been electric. It now marks a month that they have been ranked third behind two outstanding teams in Texas and Nebraska. I think they're in a spot where they can compete with anybody, and they're not going to drop games that they should win. I think they're rolling. Things are looking good. What do you think?
I mean, I was covering the game on Sunday when Florida took them to 5 sets, and in sets 2 and 3, they looked like they couldn't get anything going, and then set 4 hit. They brung back Cassie, who, I mean, what's she, the freshman of the year for how many times?
I've got it here. It's the 4th week in a row and the 5th time this season that she earned a weekly award. She's been setter of the week twice, and it's her 3rd straight freshman of the week.
Yeah, but she looked like she was struggling. The whole offense couldn't get a thing going in sets 2 and 3, and then set 4 hits. I think they hit at like a 364 clip. Then they won set 5. I mean, and then the duo between Eva Hudson and Brooklyn DeLay might be the best in the country. I think both rank in the top 25 in kills. I think Brooklyn ranks 15th and Hudson ranks 23rd in kills per set. I mean, against Florida, they both had 20-plus kills and 10-plus digs. Like, it's probably one of the best duos in all of sports right now, or college sports.
Yeah, and their rankings would be a lot higher if they weren't sharing the court every night. Like, they're both outstanding at what they do. I think if they were leading an offense on their own, they'd both be comfortably top 10. They were last year. But it makes the attack so dynamic to have two great outside hitters. And then Cassie O'Brien, like we mentioned, has been great this year, and she kind of keeps everything going. They've been rolling. They're going to be a hard team to beat.
Yeah, like you said, Texas and Nebraska, they're the 2 only undefeated teams in the country. And then Kentucky's right there at 3rd at 14-2. I don't know. Kentucky has what now? I mean, they probably have six top 10 wins at this point. Mm-hmm. I mean, they could beat anyone if they're on their A game. And, yeah, like we said, with Cassie finding a rhythm, she's finally getting the offense going. I mean, I can't believe they found a replacement for Emma Grome, who was one of the best setters in the SEC like that. And to do what she's doing as a freshman is crazy to me.
Yeah, they played Nebraska in their 2nd game of the season, and they pulled out to a 2-set lead, and then they got reverse swept. But that was before Cassie O'Brien was playing as the primary setter. Since then, they've just been on a tear. And we'll see how they face up against Texas in the coming weeks, but they've just been rolling through the end of the non-conference schedule and now into conference play.
Mm-hmm. And 8 more games before the SEC tournament. How are you guys feeling about those games? Do you think they can go undefeated for the rest of the year before the tournament?
I think Texas will be tough. A&M could be tough, but it's just I think they can win both games. I think they can beat whoever's in front of them. It's just kind of hard to tell when 2 great teams match up.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky's won 8 straight SEC championships. I know Texas just came into the league, but I mean, you knew before the season it was going to be almost 100% Kentucky or Texas. Mm-hmm. They're 2-3. They've both played great this year, but I think they have, I don't know what percent chance I think, but probably 30% chance to run the table.
Yeah, that's probably a fair spot, yeah. This upcoming week, they've got Mississippi State on Friday, who sits at 14-4, but they're 4-4 in conference, so nothing special. They should be able to take care of business there. And then they head to Alabama on Sunday, who Alabama's 10-8 and 2-6 in conference. They've got the lowest hitting percentage among all SEC teams. It should not be a close match. So they had 2 tough matchups last week, but these 2 coming up shouldn't really be that difficult. Every week we will highlight one athlete that we feel had a particularly good week, and we'll name them the athlete of the week. And this week is no other than Cassie O'Brien. Like we mentioned earlier, she's been winning SEC awards every week and now has 3 straight Freshman of the Weeks. She's on a 4-game streak of 40-plus assists. She ranks 50th in the country in assists per set, but she played the first 2 games. She wasn't the primary setter, and even the next few after that, she wasn't full-time like she is now. If you take her numbers since she started being the full-time setter, it would be the second best assist per set mark in the country. The team's 4th in assists per set, and that's largely in part to O'Brien. I mean, obviously Hudson and DeLay help with that a lot, but she's been doing an outstanding job, and this week was no different.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Kernel at the Buzzer. Be sure to check out our website at kykernel.com.
And follow us on other social media platforms such as X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Thanks for listening to Kernel at the Buzzer.